Brayden went downstairs feeling rather thirsty. He went to the kitchen with his usual gloomy attitude, hoping to get a glass of water, then immediately go back upstairs to close all of his curtains, sit on the floor and blast some good old Linkin Park music in the dark. However, before he could reach the sink, he noticed something on the kitchen counter. A glass cup filled with a deep, dark liquid that one could argue was almost darker than the night sky. Brayden raised a brow as his expression morphed into confusion mixed with curiosity. The blue-haired male wondered who left it there, or if the liquid inside was liquefied licorice. He carefully grasped the glass cup, holding firmly. If his skin wasn't already low temperature, he'd probably start shivering at how cold the glass felt. Even his crappy freezer that would blow way too much cold air couldn't make drinks cold enough to give such an almost electrifying feeling throughout one's body. Though, as typical of an attitude that he has, he just shrugged it off and was about to drink it, until the black liquid inflated one large bubble that opened up, thus showing it to be an eyeball. This caused Brayden to react in surprise, but he had a good grip of the glass, so it didn't fall from his hand. The brunette stared at this eyeball as it stared right back at him. Both him and the black liquid were just fixated on each other. Brayden just having this bewildered look before the shock was wearing off. He didn't really feel fear, nor disgust. He was just thirsty. So finally, he raised the glass and said,
"Bottoms up,"
without much care, then proceeded to drink the black gunk. He could have sworn, though, that it blinked at him before he consumed it. One could argue that it might have even winked at him, as though it approved what the other was doing. Probably encouraging it even. He kept drinking until the glass was empty, only leaving faded black smudges. It felt like swallowing a raw and very cold egg. Except the yolk felt like a giant wet grape that slid down his throat, leaving the feeling of a crawling or tingling sensation which caused him to shiver up the spine. Though, of course, as a surprise to no one, he felt rather unwell as he clutched his stomach in pain, feeling like tendrils were swishing around and trying to burst right out of his stomach, threatening to rip him open and spilling his entrails all over the floor. The urge to throw up was strong as he felt soaking grape-like orbs crawl up his throat. His knees shook and hit the floor, unable to stay standing much longer. Vomit finally exited his mouth in a deep, dark stream rather than the usual puke green color. He kept vomiting for what felt like 3 minutes. A black puddle practically formed under him. He almost passed out from lack of air as another minute went by, still vomiting. Thankfully, it was over. Brayden panted heavily as his whole body was shaking as he was trying to recover. He blinked several times, trying to see if he vomited his whole stomach out or something. However, despite his mildly blurry vision, within the black vomit, he could still see it oh so clearly. Many, many eyes were opening from the bubbles forming, and all of them stared up at him. All Brayden did while staring down as a bit of bile dripped from his panting mouth was just look at them back. Just a twisted sense of morbid curiosity.